Anyway, so I am streaming Magic the Gathering Arena. I was selected several weeks ago to do the closed beta testing, and I kind of been thinking about doing the whole live streaming thing for a while now, and seeing the NDA lift on, well, today. About a week ago, they gave that announcement. I was like, that's it. So I've put together some stuff. Hasn't got finished yet, so things might change looks over time. But anyway, so I think what I've noticed a lot since playing the game is that um, there's a lot of people in the chat in the forum that just have never played the game before. They're not quite sure. I know a lot of people who play Magic have either been playing it for years or they know a lot already. So being that this is a new Magic game and it's got kind of a little bit more of a modern, uh, cleaner UI and a little bit closer to like a Hearthstone or something like that. There's probably some people coming from that game, so I thought it would be best to kind of run through basics while I'm showing you the game. And of course, this is a beta, so there's probably going to be some problems. And if you see something wrong, let me know, and we can report it. So I think basically the best thing is just to get started with absolute basics. So you can see on the screen here, I'm going to zoom myself down some. Um, so this is the new kind of heads up that you get when you get into the game. They used to have kind of this splash screen before with one of the card art on it. You click on it, come to this screen, but this screen's changed a lot and actually looks a lot better in my opinion. They have a much more friendly. You can see it right here is it's kind of like a title bar goes through your quest progression. So as you complete the quests, you are in gold. You can see right here, win 2 games with a red-white deck. I'll get in that a little bit later. Win 2 games with a green-white deck. Learn game, cast 12 white or black spells. Win a game. Your daily, and of course the weeklies. They are providing prizes now at 5, 10, and 15 wins according to this quest. Kind of curious if this bar right here is going to fill up as we complete quests. So currently, um, they took all the cards that we had before, so I don't know what I'm going to be. What I'm going to have in my deck in my uh, library. So um, typically before they gave a booster thing, I think this is going to be this right here. It's expand your collection, open boosters for your collection. So they gave us a whole bunch of boosters to get us started, and I think that is kind of where. But will in real life packs also grant virtual packs when bought? That I don't know. That would definitely be a Wizards of the Coast question. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't, because all you would kind of probably need to do is put some kind of code inside a little piece of paper that you put in the packet, so that when you open up the packet and get your real life cards, you get a code, come in here, type it in, it gives you, um, maybe that packet or um, what this version had that I really liked was you can see it right up here. This little yellow card is the way you craft cards in the game. So this says I currently have 4 common, 2 uncommon, 1 rare, and 0 mythic. When you open up a pack in this game, it has a chance of giving you one of these cards. And I'm sure we'll see that in a second. So um, I'm going to go ahead and click on this to see if they give me any free packs, and yeah, so I've gotten 3 packs of Rivals of Ixalan. I got 3 packs of the just normal Ixalan. Um, I got 3 hours of Devastation and 3 of the Amonkhet. So let's go back to this first one. We're going to open this up. Now this is actually kind of neat because the first time they did the opening, it kind of shot off to the side. I like this a little bit better. The cards are bigger, it seems, and of course, if you hover over them, they'll get bigger, and you can read what they say. Um, the one thing that you don't have to worry about, at least you hadn't had to worry about, is getting land cards. They give you infinite amount of lands. The ones that they don't give you is if they're special named lands, and hopefully we'll get some. I can show you that. So, um, so we got several cards. We got creature. We got an enchantment aura, another creature. We got a dinosaur, sorcery card, another creature, and another creature. So, um, without getting too much into you know how these cards interact right now, we'll go ahead and just kind of open up the other packs, and I'll go through them kind of slowly if you want to see them, kind of read. So this is the original loot boxes. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, unless you're talking about like buying a box or something. It's been quite a while since I played. I'm actually a returning player. I played years ago, um, back when Unplugged was something. um, so, got some dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are very big in Ixalan, as well as pirates and merfolk. So this one in the middle is a obviously it's a rare. You see, it's kind of glowing blue, so you're at least guaranteed one. I believe one rare in every opening. Uh, so we'll go ahead and open up that. And you see, it's a rare. It'll have like a gold. I can't. If I click it, I think it's going to go away. But if you see, there's a little gold symbol in the middle of the card, and that specifies that it's a rare. This happens to be a artifact creature that when you satisfy the condition, it will actually turn into a land that then has totally new abilities. It's actually pretty cool if you build decks that feature some of these kind of cards. So those just went up into my decks tab. So you see I'm still in the packs. Yeah, there's some really good cards out there, Kiyazan. So we got some more dinosaurs, some more pirates. And I believe we had this in the last draw. So what happens is as you're opening these, you will get multiple copies of the same card. What they do is once you reach 4 of any one card, they will actually give you credit. If you look up here, there's a treasure chest in the upper left corner, or sorry, right corner. Once you fill that up to 100%, you click on it, and before it would open up, it would give you all kinds of cards that you use for crafting. So those would give you, I believe it was 5 common. No, sorry, 5 uncommon. Sorry, 5 common, 3 uncommon, 1 rare, 1 mythic. So it really lets you kind of build your decks up pretty quickly. I don't know if that's still going to hold true, but hopefully it does. And then we got a mythic. These are really nice. They usually help you turn the games if you can get them out and playing right. Um, this one also has like a special ability called Ascend, which is something new to at least me. That once you get 10 things on the board, and that includes lands, creatures, enchantments, things that actually stay on the battlefield, and you play something with Ascend, it gives you what's called the city's blessing. And anything that has Ascend will then trigger their special ability. And once, hopefully I'm not wrong, but I believe once you get the city's blessing, you cannot lose it. See, we got another card that's got Ascend. So this one gets you 2 cards, but if you have the city's blessing, you get 3. Here's a dual lands. These dual lands come into play tapped, and once we start playing, I'll explain what tapped means. But this this helps you if you're building a multicolored deck to be able to hopefully get the mana that you need to play your cards. Because you get the choice of when you tap it, blue or red. So it helps. We got another mythic here, the Immortal Sun. This is, in my play testing, has been pretty good. I mean, it shuts down planewalkers. It gives you extra cards during your draw step. It gives you 1 less to all your spells, and then 1/1 to all your creatures. Hey, if we can get everybody in this game, I like it. I mean, from what I've played, I mean, it feels just like Magic. I mean, I played a long time ago. Coming back to this, it was just like I came home to visit the parents. So, I've been enjoying it so far. I've actually been kind of bummed that I haven't been able to talk to you guys about it because of the NDA thing. So now I can actually do that. So you can see right here, we got a wild card. We got something that we can use to craft another card later. That is a good thing. And we got another one. We got a rare. All right. Vampires are also another big thing in the Ixalan expansion. Another dual lands. Now this one is a better dual land. So this one, when it comes into play, it as long as you have a swamp or an island, you don't have to tap it. So you lay it down, you can immediately gain the benefits of this card. Very nice. Yeah, I have to download some music apparently, um, because I've been wary about just getting, going on Spotify and stuff because I know you can get kind of demonetized and other stuff. So right now I'm kind of clicking through the audio library of YouTube because those are completely free with the setup I put in there, so I don't have to worry about that. It's actually for streaming. All right, so we got a wizard. We got a cleric. Now these are from the Hour of Devastation, and I just realized I clicked through that last one, so I am sorry. We got a named land card. We got Rampaging Hippo. We got an artifact. Artifacts are really nice. They stay on the board. They interact and do many different types of things. Yeah, the Psycho Land and the Psycho Hippo. That's I believe Hours of Devastation did do a lot of cycling, if I'm remembering right, because I did play Magic Puzzle Quest for a little bit, and it ran the Hour of Devastation in a Monket pack, so those are kind of they're going to be kind of familiar to me. Got another land here. Now this is a wall. You can see this one has Defender on it. You notice it's got a 0 and a 4, so I'll take a second and talk about that. In the bottom right corner, you see their power and their toughness. So when you play these creatures out and they're attacking, they'll use the first number to deal damage, and the second number is what they use to basically help you block the damage incoming. Yeah, desert is part of the whole Amonkhet and Devastation. You see both of these both have a desert moniker next to you got the land, and then which is the basic type of card, and then you got the special type, which is desert in this case. And our thing right here. So I'm trying to remember. This one has a special double card thing. I believe it's because of the aftermath. So what happens is you play the black version of the card normally, and then aftermath is, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert. Aftermath plays after it's gone to the graveyard. So so you can actually cast it from the graveyard. And you can see this one, he's a 0/4, but he's not a defender, he's not a wall. This one gets more powerful the number of instants and sorceries you have in your graveyard, which could make that very strong. One of the things that that you'll quickly notice about Magic is flying creatures are pretty powerful if you don't build things to deal with them. And I mean, if yeah, it is silly good in red and blue. I mean, and I was going to get into kind of what the colors mean in a little bit, because I think that's kind of important, and kind of like their how they reflect your play style. But you know, for flying, you know, the only way you can block a flying creature is with another flying creature. Unless you have a creature that has what's called reach, and that's usually something that's on the ground, like an archer or something may have a reach ability that lets you block it. If you're a land creature and you're trying to attack, you can block a land creature with a flying creature, and you know, building an entire deck of flying creatures can get pretty hard to deal with if you're not thinking about that. Just some generic card. So that is a good card. So it's got what's called menace, which means it can only be blocked by two or more creatures. Um, that's that's sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say. But it's got a good ability that if you're playing a zombie deck, you control a whole bunch of zombies and something happens and a lot of them die. This card will make the not only one opponent but each opponent lose one life. Um, and that's actually, because I've played Magic 2014, the computer game. I played 2015. Those are a little bit more single players. I haven't played Magic Online because of the whole, you had to buy all the cards and stuff, and I couldn't really afford the just to do that, nor justify paying all that money for all the packs. But that was just me and my financial situation at the time. Um, so, uh, one of the things that I really hope they can figure out, or at least hopefully make a game mode, is to bring the multiple people playing, not just a duel, not one on one. But if you look at this card, it says whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent. So I remember when I first started playing, I'd go over to my friend's house. We'd play it before we'd play, D&D for the night or whatever other tabletop RPG we were playing at the time. And there'd be like 6 of us. Sometimes there was 10 of us. I think the most we ever had was like 12 people sitting around a table, all playing the same Magic game against each other. It was chaos. You had secret alliances. You had people making pacts in the middle of the game. You just had all this, kind of fun, and you really kind of also had to think about how you were building your decks and how you were playing against not just one person but several. Um, it you know it makes this card really powerful when you have more opponents, because now you're not only just burning the guy across the table from you, you're burning everybody at the table from you. So they I think it kind of hoses these kind of cards a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, the card's still good, but it's not as good as it could be, and it's only because the game mode doesn't exist, at least as far as I'm aware of. And um, I really hope that they could figure out how to do that, um, because it was a blast. I mean, I would love to be able to like get with my friends around the same table, play it digitally. I mean, it doesn't have to be cards out on the table, but hook them up to where you can play around the thing. I think the I think the biggest drawback is probably how do you see everybody's cards on the table at the same time. But maybe they need to take like a video poker lesson or something like that. How did they do it? But anyway, enough rambling. Get going. Yeah, 3 mana was pretty cheap for that. I mean, jeez. Um, Another one with Aftermath. Good old counter spells. Yeah, this is the final pack. I got one mythic rare of it so far, so I think they might have given me some basic cards to start with, but we'll have to see that in a second when I look through the decks and start looking at building it. Pouncing Cheetah. So Flash is really good. That kind of, if you've been kind of looking at the cards, Flash acts as this black version of this card has instant. So Flash lets you play this as an instant. You can play it anytime you'd be able to play an instant card, which means you could basically sneak it in on an opponent's turn when they're trying to attack you and they think that you're wide open. You go, no, I'm not. You play this card, laying it on the stack that goes in order, and basically you can block it, either preventing the damage that they're trying to do to you, or at least maybe killing one of their creatures. So it's kind of nice to have things like that too. Alright, so that was all the packs. So now they have a new button here. It says you have no new packs open. So it says get packs. This is probably going to take me to the store. So, yep, comes to the store. So this screen looks a lot better. It's a lot more intuitive. So I see that we got 4 buttons here that correspond to the different releases, the different I can't remember the term for them now, but we got the Rivals of Ixalan. You can see it kind of changes. That's kind of a bug right there that just happened. If you've seen it, when I click it, it flashes white for a second and then it goes immediately gray. So that's probably something I should be bugging later. If not, it's probably already bugged. But you can also see, so the gold here, so each of these packs, one pack, just like all the packs that opened up, cost 1,000 gold. Your gold is counted right here. That's what you get from beating opponents. You get a little bit each time, at least you did, and you get it from completing your quests. These gems, they were not active before. I think this is something they're looking at in the future, and I believe it was supposed to be things that you buy with real money, but they're not wanting to make it a pay-to-win game. They want to. I believe they're trying to basically kind of make an answer to a popular card game out there. And kind of make Magic a little bit more user friendly for people who aren't already experts or veterans and stuff. But they did not want to make it, according to their posts, make it pay to win. So these were supposed to kind of be eventually like cosmetic type stuff. I think I could be wrong. They might have changed their opinion, but that's what I remember reading. It also looks like they've maybe changed this a little bit, because if you see, I got 48.3%. I don't think, I could have gotten some duplicates. Now, before, if they gave you a duplicate, they would put a percentage number on top of the card. I didn't see that, so that to me tells me they're giving me credit for every card I pick, so that eventually when this hits 100%, I'll be able to get a whole bunch more wild cards to be able to craft. Now, if you think about it, we just opened up 3 packs from each of these 4. So so about 12 packs nets you, looks like, roughly 50%. I'm sure there's probably a factor in there because it's not an even, so I'm thinking that maybe the more mythic, more rare, it's going to give you more points probably. So we don't have any gold, so we can't buy any more packs. So we don't have any left to open. So now if we go to the decks, so they looks like they have some pre-built decks already queued up. So This screen looks a lot better. I like this yeah, time to build a deck. Woo! so so this screen has I think come a long way. It's more of a tile. You see just the decks that you have. Um, the before it was kind of a vertical, and they had a bigger picture of the one that you kind of had. You had buttons in the middle. It was a little clunky. They moved all those down here, so you got edit deck, import, export, clone, delete. So um, import, I don't remember seeing that before, so I am not sure what this button does yet. Nor export. I'm thinking maybe there's probably going to be some like code or something online. Maybe you import that deck list from a friend or something, so that you don't have to like read online, pick the card, read online, pick the card. I mean, that would be pretty nice, pretty quick way to build decks from looking at online sources. Clone deck was probably like Hearthstone deck codes. Yeah, probably. Um, so clone basically would do exactly that. I got this the Sun Empire deck selected right now. It's a red green deck. If I click that, click clone, you see it made the Sun Empire 2 in parentheses. So this is going to be 100% the same as this one. If I don't want that, or I want to get rid of one, I don't think there was a maximum deck limit that you can make before. They might have imposed one now. In fact, let's try that real quick. Let's see what they do if I just keep clicking this button. Nope, they gave me a scroll bar. All right. So I mean, look at this. So we're already up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, you're figuring six. Each row has six, and I'm already down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. So 36 decks, 35 decks at minimum. Um, that's that's nice. You don't have to worry about constantly deleting or rebuilding a deck over and over and over again. Hopefully they keep that. So let's just delete these. I might delete these later, so you're not watching me delete a whole bunch during stream. Anyway, so let's check what this deck looks like. So I am currently in the edit deck menu. So they have on the side here all the cards that they put in the deck. Now, in Magic, there's a minimum deck requirement. You have to have at least 60 cards. They can be whatever you want as long as you have 60 cards. Um, there's also a sideboard. Now, that's kind of like if you're playing a tournament and you know you're going to be facing some people and you have a suspicion that these decks are going to be something you face, or say your deck is particularly weak to something, you can put things in what's called your sideboard to bring them in at a later game. There really hasn't been a need for that yet because they haven't had a series of games that you play against somebody. It's been just quick play, queue up, fight somebody, and then move on. So just to kind of talk about the colors just a little bit. Um, each color kind of has a flavor, a play style. So white is typically looked at as your goody two shoes color. It's got a lot of healing. It's got a lot of kind of smaller creatures that you buff up. A lot of support. It's like holy stuff like that. And it's kind of that white feel. Um, it it's definitely about you gaining life, keeping healthy, keeping your creatures healthy. Blue is often, while it might not be verbally said, um, whenever you play against somebody who plays blue, you got that feeling that, you know, a guy's probably a jerk or a girl's probably a jerk, because blue is main objective is to keep you from doing what you want to do. I mean, they excel in what's called counterspell. So if you try to play a creature, they have a way to keep you from doing that. If you try to play a spell, they have a way to keep you from doing that. I mean, you can see right here they got a merfolk. You can't block it. So they're very control oriented. Um, they pair well a lot with the other colors because of that control. Unless you kind of keep your board presence there and kind of tries to lock down the other opponent. You next you got black. Black's kind of looked at as the evil color, or you know, um, a blue black is the favorite combo. Yeah. Um, it, so black kind of is they're not afraid of hurting themselves. So I remember back in the day, one of the decks we used to play in our group was called Suicide Black. Basically, it was very cheap creatures because when you played them, um, they hurt you. So like you play a one cost creature, it's got an insane attack and toughness, but it did like it made you lose 3 life. So it helped you get bigger things out quicker at the cost of potentially putting you in a bad situation. So Suicide Black was all about that. You didn't care if you died or not. You wanted to win, of course, but you could get yourself to 1 life, have a board full, you know, by like turn 5, and the other guy's already dead. Because in Magic, you know, and they had this kind of saying, kind of scrolling during the load screens, that like winning at 20 life or winning at 1 life doesn't make a difference. It's still winning. So if you're at 1 life and you beat the other guy because you burnt yourself down to do that, you still won the game. So you know, black is not afraid to kill their own things. To, you know, we saw a card earlier that whenever your things die, you did direct damage to the other player. So you kill your own stuff sometimes to kill the other player. So and kind of some mechanics that they kind of have, death touch. You know, they attack things. Doesn't matter what strength something is, it instantly dies. Um, they they have a lot of negatives. You can apply negatives to opponents' creatures, stuff like that. So yes, good point, Kizan. So black is also about controlling the other player's hands. You know, he's also saying directly killing creatures, making people stack stuff, bring stuff back from the graveyard. So yeah, while you're killing your stuff, or the opponent's killing your stuff, you're bringing it back onto the table. You're one of the decks I had um, before the wipe was I believe it was a black, red, and green deck, um, and it basically it milled the other player. Um, you know, it just got rid of their hand, got rid of their board, and then I had a card that would get rid of their graveyard. So, you know, it's a troll deck. If you want to be a jerk, you make something like that. You know, shutting a player out definitely helps you win, but you know, it also makes you some enemies in the process. Um, so red is, it's kind of like to say the polar opposite of blue would be a misnaming of it. It's definitely a control class or a control color, but it does it in a different way. Instead of denying somebody the ability to do something, it gets rid of by direct damage. So you get a lot of instant direct damage, like this one in particular, dual shot. So I pay 1 red mana, dual shot deals 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures. So you can burn the other creatures out. You can burn the other player directly. It also has a lot of creatures with haste, things that as soon as you put them on on the battlefield, they can immediately attack. It it does kind of just general damage to everything. Um, Creatures that have double strike, which means they hit twice instead of only once, so they do their attack damage to more than one thing. They might be able to kill more things if they have enough toughness to survive a exchange. So red's kind of that uh, you know control, but it's more of a damage type of a control. You have green, and green is typically a color for big creatures. They love big creatures. Um, Typically means that their mana costs tend to be kind of high on those big creatures, of course, because you don't want to just flood because they don't have the drawbacks like black would to get a big creature out. They spend more mana. But what green does better than the other ones is it gets you more mana out quicker. So some of theirs will let you play an additional land. So you can see this sorcery card right here. So a target creature I control. Sorry, I need a drink. A target creature I control explores. Sorry. But then I get to play an additional land this turn. Yeah, still didn't get it. So, target creature I control explores. Um, Exploring is actually kind of new to me. I actually really like it because what happens is when a creature explores, they basically draw the top card. If the top card is a land, it goes to your hand. If the top card is a creature, they get a +1/+1 token, um, and I'll explain tokens a little bit, but +1/+1 token, so they get a little bit powerful. And then you get the option. You can either put the card back on top of your library, or it goes to the graveyard. So then, if you have multiple things that explore, what you can do is when the first one explores and you see that it's a not a land, and you want to buff all your stuff up, you put it back on top of your on your library, and then you just keep doing that for each one. So then you buff all your creatures up, or you get a whole bunch of lands in your hand. So they like to get big creatures out. They like to get um, uh, mana on the board to be able to play their stuff. Also, there are some abilities normally go with each color, but they're not limited to those colors. Green has trample, white has vigilance, red has haste, blue has flying, and black has intimidate. Yeah. I briefly touched a little bit on that. You know, so one of the people in chat were saying green has trample. Trample is where if you have a creature that's attacking and say your opponent blocks it, your creature does damage to the blocking creature, but if it does enough damage to where it kills it and then would be able to do more damage, that damage continues on. So what happens is your opponent has to make a choice. Do I block it with more than one, or do I block it with one and then take some to the face? Um, Y has vigilance. Vigilance is basically and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a first strike. So basically, if they can, um, actually, I think it's not, yeah, yeah, it's first strike. Um, so if they're fighting against a blocking creature and they would do enough to kill the creature, they would kill the creature and possibly live, as long as the other conditions are met. Um, oh wait, sorry, that would be first strike. Vigilance is where you can attack without tapping. See, I'm a little rusty, not perfect, non-expert. Yeah, first strike is well, first strike. Yeah. So anyway, so let's look at what this deck had in it. So the first card they have is Ryle. It's a sorcery. Ryle deals 1 damage to target creature you control. That creature gains trample until the end of turn. Draw a card. Commune with dinosaurs. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a dinosaur or land card from among them. Put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Now, hopefully they fixed this card. I put in a bug before that when you played this card, you got the top 5 of your library, but it wouldn't give you the ability to arrange the cards in whatever way you want them to put in the bottom of the library. As soon as I pick the card to reveal it, it just automatically did it. Now, it could have been a misconception on my part, like maybe I misunderstood and I was supposed to move them around before I'd click the reveal, but even if that was the case, it wasn't intuitive enough. So hopefully this one will behave like it's supposed to, because while it might not really make a difference in the grand scheme of things, being able to arrange in any order the cards that you put on the bottom of your library, if you don't have that ability, and it comes down to the wire, because there's some Magic games that if you're trading back and forth and controlling each other, you can get down to the last cards of your deck, or if somebody is milling you, being able to put them in any order might be very might help you win the game, or not die as bad. But yeah, that's something that I hope they kind of fixed. So this one has a choose. You either choose to deal 3 damage to a target creature or destroy the artifact. Now, so this is, and I'll talk about the card types. So you see these first 2 right in the middle. They call you see the word sorcery. So these will play at certain points of the game, and it's only on your turn. Um, it's whenever you're able to tap mana. There's uh, a flow to your turns, and we'll cover that when we start playing. But it helps you get some stuff on the board before you can get some stuff after. This one here is an instant. It lets you cast it anytime, including on another player's turn. Um, so what a lot of people will tell you, you're kind of supposed to do it all the time, and it's a wise decision, is you can wait till the end of another player's turn and play an instant. So you leave mana open, because that can be seen as a threat. Magic is not just about what you have on the board. It's also about what you could possibly have in your hand. So if you leave mana open, it really makes the other person think, do I attack now? What could they do if I did attack now? Um, and you have to kind of think about all the cards that they could have. So if you leave it open, they played their turn. They didn't do anything that needed you to immediately respond and you still have mana open, it suggested that if you have an instant that um, that's just good to play, that doesn't be like this one, um, is deal 3 damage to a target creature. You might kill something off in the other person's thing. So then when it comes to your turn, you untap, you have all your mana back. So basically, it just kind of reserves your stuff. Um, Lightning Strike. This is a very old card, even though the artwork is, I believe, changed several times. But it's just deal 3 damage to any target. Any target means any target. Any creature on the board that has a power toughness. Any creature on the board, planeswalkers, or the other person. Um, and a weather shock. um, so, Uptech Huntmaster. Dinosaur spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Target dinosaur gains haste until the end of turn. So, that's actually something that somebody new to Magic might not understand. So when it says dinosaur spells, what it means is anything that has dinosaur written in this middle box right there. Uh, so everything in your hand is considered a spell besides a land until you play it. So if you go to play a creature, it's a spell. You're summoning that creature. So a blue player who's playing a card that counters target spell opponent is playing can counter you playing a creature because it's a creature spell. So dinosaur spells you cast costs 1 less to cast. So basically it means that anytime you play something that has dinosaur in that middle box, it costs 1 less. Raptor Hatchling. So this one has an enrage. Basically what that means is whenever it's dealt damage, and it kind of tells you that in the ability, create a 3/3 dinosaur creature token with trample. So I'll talk a little bit about tokens right now. So when you play this card and it goes on the table, it's a 1/1. It costs 1 colorless and 1 red. So it's at minimum a turn 2 play, unless you have something that somehow gets you out a extra mana on the very first turn, which I'm not thinking of any at the moment. So it's a trade. You put this out there, you trade another, attacking creature. Hopefully it's only like a 1 toughness creature, so you kill it too, and it gives you a 3/3 token with trample. So tokens are kind of like a clone, or if you're thinking about it, it's kind of like a representation of something. They don't have abilities themselves. They're not a card. They are a creature on the battlefield that still attacks, still blocks, still does whatever. But there's cards that interact directly with tokens. Like they'll say, for every token you have, give this creature +X/+X, or gain mana for every creature you have, or something to that extent. So tokens are good, and there are things that just says destroy all tokens. So that could be very bad for you if you're building everything around tokens. So here we have a rare. Channeler Initiate enters the battlefield, put 3 -1/-1 counters on a target creature you control. So I basically make one of my creatures less powerful. However, if I tap this card, I remove one of those counters from that's a little odd. I would think it would remove it from the creature, but it removes the counter from this. So Basically, it lets you get mana, and this is where I was saying earlier that green helps you get more mana so you can cast those bigger creatures. Drover the Mighty. If you have another dinosaur in your control, he gets +2/+2. Plus, you can tap him, so he can give you a mana of any color to your mana pool. He's actually pretty good in a dinosaur deck that has green in it. Um, the uh, uh, the downside when you tap something, and when you're looking at the board, it means you're kind of turning them to the side. If something's tapped, it can't block. It also can't attack, unless you're tapping it to attack. So if you're tapping this to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, that's all he's doing this turn. He can't help you block, can't help you live. He's just helping you hopefully get something else that can block. Um, so he ends up being a very nice card because not only does he give you extra mana of any color, which is really nice, um, for especially if you're building like this is a red green deck. Um, he gets +2/+2 for a dinosaur, so now he's a 3/3 for only 2 mana. Um, a Naga Vitalist. So tap this, add your mana pool. Sorry, add to your mana pool 1 mana of any type that a land you control produces. So this is a red green deck. So um, if I tap this, I would basically be able to either create a red mana or a green mana for mountains or forests. If it was in a blue green deck, I'd be able to create only islands or forests, black green swamps or forests, and so on. Thunderherd Migration. Additional cost: cast Thunderherd Migration, reveal a dinosaur from your hand, and play 1. You can also search your library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, which means it puts a land in play, but you can't use it that turn. Um, and I don't know if you guys want me to keep kind of going through these. The thing that I'm already kind of noticing is so this deck, if I scroll through it and you pay attention to this column right here, this is how many of that particular card you have in the deck. So this particular deck has a lot of ones, like a lot of ones. Um, if you go to um, it's gonna. I have a feeling that when we play this, because we'll play it here in a second. When we play it, we're gonna basically be randomizing all of our cards, and it's in like you kind of want to look for focusing your deck. So if you can try to build a deck with 4 of each of a particular kind of card, it really helps you that when you draw, you have a better chance of drawing the cards that you need. So this one, we're gonna kind of be up in the air of whatever we get in our hand at the time. Um, we also have mountains and forests. So that is how you actually play these cards. Um, they also put some. They put a dual land in here. They put. So this is a colorless mana um, land card. So when you tap this, it gives you 1 mana, but it's only colorless. So when you look at a card and you see the Verdant Sun's avatar and you see that 5, it only gives you 1 to spend on that 5 number. Otherwise, you can spend as many mountains or forests on that 5 number that you want, that you have available. So, um, so that like I said, this is my first run through. There's so much stuff I want to cover, but I don't want it to be boring at the same time. So, we're gonna go back here, and I think, yeah, I think we're gonna have to go home, and so This first quest that we have is a red-white deck. Now, what that means is there was kind of a bug I found, at least maybe it wasn't that it was explained 100%, but you had to have red and white. Basically, you had to have plains and mountains in your deck, along with red cards and white cards that required those mana. I had a deck at the time that used treasure. Treasure in the you can kind of see a treasure card right here. Treasure when you tapped it and sacrificed it, it made a land card of a mana of any color you wanted. So you can win it. So even though we have red in our deck, we have green, and it's not considered a green-white deck, so we're not going to be completing this quest or this quest. Um, we're not going to be completing this one either. But anyway, let's go ahead and start up a game. So we got constructed. It's asking me to select a deck. So I kind of want to. Well, we'll just go ahead. That's the one we've been looking at. All right. Next turn we'll play something that, or next game we'll play something that I can actually finish some quests on. Good old rank 1. All right, so this is the opening hand. So they give you kind of some tips in there. Would you like to mulligan your opening hand? Basically, what mulligan does is you replace all these 7 cards with 6 new ones. It gives you 1 less, which can put you at a disadvantage. But what they do, and I think somebody was saying, one of the people in chat actually was saying that it's a Vancouver mulligan. It was a mulligan, or not, it wasn't in chat, it was at work. It was a mulligan I wasn't familiar with, because what happened is after you go down to 6, you scry the top card. So you got to see whether it was a land card or a creature card or whatever other non-land card you had, and you got to choose. Did you want to keep it on top of your deck or put it on the bottom of your deck? I actually liked that. When we used to play a long time ago, the forms of mulligans we had were called no land. It's when you had opened up, you had to show the other player that you literally had no land in your hand, and you could you could reshuffle your deck and draw 7 new cards. There was all lands, where same basic thing except for you have all of it. I better go ahead and keep this. So sorry. Oops. But the ideal opening hand is to have at least 3 land cards, and preferably, if you're playing a multicolor deck like this, 1 of each color. Otherwise, you'll get to a point where you can't cast anything. So you can already see the other player is playing blue. So I'm looking at my cards. I got, this is a 2/1 green. Another one, this is a sorcery. So it looks like because I want a creature out first. I need to get some board presence. So I'm going to cast a green card. And because I have no other things I could do, it already ended my turn. So now this person has a green and a blue. So I'm going to play I drew. So this is a dual land coming to play tap. Now I don't have anything I can play immediately, so I'm going to go ahead and play this, because then that helps me on my next turn. It basically buys me some time. It's not going to hurt me. So now I'm going to play my mountain so I can get a creature out. So this is a 2/2. Spell your opponent's cast at targeted merfolk. Cost 2 more to cast. Abilities your opponent activate the target the merfolk you control cost 2 more to activate. That kind of sucks. So I am going to put this one out because you can see it's a 2-3 with enrage. So if he tries to attack, I'm going to block it. Now, this guy here has 2-2. My guy's 2-3. So in the exchange, I'm going to do 2 damage to him. He's going to do 2 damage to me. I have more life than he does damage, so my creature would live with 1 life remaining and his creature would die. However, he just buffed his creature with an enchantment, gives it +2/+2 and has flying. And you just saw I can't block a flying creature with only a land creature. That kind of sucks. So I am going to, let's see. We can shake the foundations, which deals 1 damage to each creature without flying, so it wouldn't hurt his guy, it would hurt mine. I could put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature I control, then that creature fights his creature. Mine would be 3/4, his is 4/4, so his would kill mine, mine would not kill his. And then I have that. So I'm going to play my land. He is too expensive to play. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one here. So I'm playing this 4/4 right here, and you can see it tapped all my mana. And this is what I was talking about with tap. See how they're kind of turned and they got this arrow on it. So he can't block right now, but he has a blue and he has a green. So I got to think to myself, does he have anything that could make this guy die or get returned to my hand or something? I don't think he does, so I'm going to go ahead and attack. So I did 2 damage. Now see, I attacked so he can't block anything. However, he's got to make a decision. He can either attack me with his 4/4, which he's guaranteed to hit, but that opens him up for 6 damage next turn. Alright, so as an additional cost, cast it, reveal a merfolk, or pay 3. Then it enters the field, draw a card. So it revealed this one. It's got hexproof. Plus it enters, put a +1 on a target merfolk you control. Hexproof means I cannot target it with a instant or a sorcery. And when it enters the battlefield, it explores. So put +1/+1 on target land you control. That land becomes an elemental and it's still a creature, but it has haste. It's still a land. So he's got a lot more on the battlefield right now. And that's not the greatest. So I can kill this if I play Shake the Foundations. I think that's my... Alright, so I have Shake the Foundations, which deals 1 damage to each creature without flying. So it's going to deal 1 damage to his 2. And 1 damage to mine. Well, I'll kill both if... So I'm going to do this. Now what that's going to do is this guy gets to draw a land because he's got enraged. So I'm going to take the action. I'm just going to look real quick. It's just going to let me get a basic land. So I'm going to take a green. And then let's see. No, I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to go ahead and play my thing for this turn. And then combat. So he can't tap this. So I'm probably going to... I'm just going to attack with that one. because he's either going to block this or that. Alright, let's see if he's going to attack me in the face. Yeah, I know that I could have done 1 damage with the 4/4 attacks. I should have done it. I second guessed it because I was like, wait a minute, is it going to uh, block and then not do it? But yeah, I messed that one up personally. So let's see. I'm gonna do no blockers. Alright, so I'm gonna do this and kill this. And let's go ahead and get this out there. I'm gonna say no attacks for this. Oh, I know I could have killed it. I know. Like I said, I'm not an expert. The thing is, I know what I did wrong, and that's where it's different. So if he sends that 5/4, I could block with a Raging Dinosaur, Regiosaur. It'll kill that. Let's see. When feeling dealt damage, it deals target opponent or planeswalker. So that would get to him. So I'm going to block this. They're both going to kill each other because they both have 5 and that has 4. I'm going to lose my guy here. But I'm going to get a land and cast one of my bigger people. Alright, now I'm playing another mountain. Alright, so if I play this one, every time I play something, I get life equal to the toughness of the creature, including himself. This one, whenever it attacks, exile a top card of the player's library. You may cast any number of it without paying their mana cost. It's a very nice card. I'm in a bad situation at the moment, so deals 1 damage to each other creature. Deals 2 damage. So if I played this, it would deal 1 damage to everything, but this would only do it. If this could target that, I'd kill it, but I think the play is this. And then I'm going to go ahead and use it. Let's see. I think that other one's going to be it. So Needle Tooth. I'm going to go ahead and get that. The Needle Tooth was good though, but I don't think I had the mana to cast everything. So he's tapped 3 green and 1 blue. Alright, see, he's not attacking because he doesn't want to lose his creatures. So I'm going to play my land. Yeah, I think he saved me. Thank you, Avatar. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and play this one because what it's going to do is it's going to buff all my other stuff. So all my other dinosaurs are I gets +1/+1. They do kind of. I don't know what their criteria is for what just happened. Some of them, you can see this is a uncommon, um, denoted by that little silver kind of compass rose looking symbol there. Um, yeah. So I just got 200 gold for my first win of the day. See, just checked it, and I got a card. Win martyr. No, he that wasn't a disconnect. He conceded. So they don't they haven't gotten any like death animations or something. You know, in Hearthstone, somebody concedes, their portrait explodes. They haven't done that in this game yet. But if somebody just drops like that, I haven't seen an actual disconnect. I think disconnects would be more of like the timers just kind of sitting there spinning, and then eventually nothing happens on the other side. All right, so we won our first game. That's nice. Well, it gives you a timer on everything because it doesn't want you to take an extremely um, long turn phase and stuff like that because Magic could be very long. Even like we were talking earlier, having multiple people in a game can be extremely long as well. Um, so I want to do some quests. So I'm gonna look at this deck, double click it. So this is a white green, which I believe. Let's go check my quests again. So that's odd. It does not show me the other quests I had today that they disappeared. Hmm. I don't know how to see my quests anymore. Oh, there they are. There was a bug. So, alright. Red, white, green, white. So I want to play a green, white deck. I'll go back to decks. Green, white deck is this one here. So we got a Sacred Cat with lifelink. Lifelink's going to let me every time I attack with this or block with this. If this does damage in an attack kind of manner, I'm going to get life back equal to his power. Um, got an appeal and authority, double strike, eternalize. So this is from the Monket set. I believe they uh, the internalizing bomb. They had a lot of cats in it. I actually kind of enjoyed them because when they died, they kind of left a zombie cat on the board. They were kind of good. Um, it's kind of so this one uses a lot of cat creatures. So I would think, yep, here we go. So Radiant Destiny, 2 colorless and a white. As Radiant Destiny enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1 as long as I have the city's blessing, and they also have vigilance. I need to call cats when I get it. Um, It's at Anubis, like, fighting the crocodile, apparently. And apparently there's a horse. It's a mythic horse. So other horses I control have indestructible. At the beginning of each step, if you gain life this turn, create a 5/5 white horse creature token. So my cats have lifelink, at least some of them did. They're going to be generating a combo with this thing, getting me 5/5 white horses at the beginning of each end step. That means, if I'm right, not only my end step but the opponent's end step as well. So if I block the an attack from the opponent and gain life, they would create a 5/5 horse at the end of his turn. All right. Now, so so typically in a deck they tell you about and you can come up here. I'll do this real quick. You can see your deck statistics. So it's typically in a deck they'll tell you 24 to 25 lands, um, and kind of they'll give you a ratio of how many of one color versus how many of another color, depending on the multicolored deck you're building. And I have very bad card draw. I mean, obviously it was decent last game. I'm sure the more games you watch me play, you'll eventually see some really bad, opening hands and stuff. So I typically kind of run two extra lands in my decks. That does supposedly, in theory, kind of keep you from drawing the cards that you need to play, and can give you more mana than you need. But because I often feel like my decks starve for mana, even if I go by the golden rules, um, I feel like I get the card cost me the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and click done to get out of that. So let's see what the cats do. So we're gonna go back up to home. We're going to go play. I'm going to change this to the cats. Alright, so this is kind of interesting what just happened here. It's like doubled the the quest things up here, and then this is in the middle. And this looks like the eye has, in both the win and width, has got, in the, yeah, and L is like any, that's odd. It's a little graphic glitch. Let's play. Among It had a lot of Egyptian themes. Yeah, font glitch. Alright, so here's kind of along the lines of what I'm talking about. So I got one plain, I got a colorless, a land that comes in tapped, colorless, but I can pay a life for the green. So I need one green. I don't have a green immediately, but this one will give me that green on my second turn. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this because I already got the card that I need to buff all my cats. So I'm going to keep this hand. Hopefully my mana curve stays good. Kind of scares me having a lot of these special lands in my hand, but exile Watchers of the Dead. Each opponent chooses two cards in his or her graveyard and exiles the rest. This gets more powerful the longer I hold it in my hand and play, but it is a 2/2. And the ability is completely useless until he gains some graveyard. So that kind of actually, let's go ahead and play that one green card that comes in tapped. I'm going to skip the cycling on that. I'm just going to pay this. Let me check my stream. I'm kind of covering up my deck and graveyard here, so I'm going to move that. Alright, so let's see. Go ahead and actually, let's see. So you can see it's giving me a warning. I got more than 7 cards in my hand. I'll need to discard one at the end of the turn if I keep 7 in it. However, I'm going to be playing some land cards, so I will play this. So whenever initiates companion deals damage, untap target creature or land. That means one of his creatures or land or one of mine. So I can untap a land to be able to maybe cast something else that turn, and he just exiled my creature. That kind of sucks. All right. Oh, I just made a mistake. I should have played a plains there and threw out this, but it's okay. I'm gonna keep this Watchers in my hand right now because he doesn't have anything. I want to try to get some, but if I don't draw another creature card this next turn, I'm gonna have to put something on the board. He doesn't have anything, so that's why I'm not. Now he does. Alright, so now I'm going to play my plains. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I don't want to, but I'm going to have to. Alright. It says say combat, tax, and in turn. So a typical magic turn goes like this. You have untap, upkeep, draw. So basically what that means is it untaps everything you have tapped from the previous turn. You pay anything that says you have an upkeep. I'm going to take this to the face because I'm going to buff this cat in a second. So, and then you got the first main state. So your first main phase is where you spend your mana and cast any creatures, any sorcery spells you want to play. And so now it's my turn. So you cast any creatures, play lands, play sorceries. Then you go into what's called your let's see. Your combat phase. You see, just change the combat. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Calling cat. Going done. So now that just turned into 3/3. Now I didn't play a land. No, this is going to play my cycling. So if I cycle this, I get. I think it's a draw, right? Yeah. Let's put some. Yeah, I don't want to cycle. So combat. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I don't have anything. Um, I'm going to skip attacks for right now because he's not going to attack. So I could have done 3/3 to his face, or killed that creature, but when he dies, he draws a card. Now, if he doesn't attack and he blocks with both of these, he will kill this. But I would kill both of those because I do enough damage with my power that equals. No, I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I'd only kill one of them. Looks like he might be playing the same kind of deck. You think my OBS is set up wrong? How so? Is it not playing sounds at all? Alright. Target creature I control gets +1 until the end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. Let's see. Don't have. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Hopefully, it doesn't have anything like the baffling end. Scare him from attacking. Yeah, it's probably because I didn't mute my my own Twitch stream. I'm a goober. I don't think they have music. I'm not hearing any. Okay. If I attack with that, can you still hear me? Attack with that, he would block. Just gonna go ahead and wait. I need something better. Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to change my settings around a little bit. I'm not sure. Oh, the qualms of first stream. Now, if I play that on his turn, which is a better thing than playing it on mine. See, he played that cat on the end of my turn, so now that 3 mana that he just tapped is going to untap. See how that just happened up there? Alright. Enchant creature you control. When Cartouche of Strength enters the battlefield, you may have enchanted creature fight target creature and opponent controls. chain creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. So I can. So it's going to give me +1/+1. If I buff the horse, that would be a 6/6, and it would kill something. But if I buff the cat, just thinking out loud here. So I'm going to buff this horse, and I'm going to kill this 3/2. I'm going to have them basically fight, and because he's only doing 3 damage to my 6 toughness, he's not going to kill me. Okay. I'm going to say no attackers, and end my turn. Now this goes back up to 6 at the end of my turn. I do want a little bit of music. I have to like download some songs or something. Now basically what they're doing there, and why I have to keep clicking that button, is it's allowing me an opportunity to, if I have an instant, I can play during his turn at each of those phases that he's going through. It does kind of make him wait if I don't click that button, so you can kind of stall for time and stuff, but they do put a timer on there, and you have these little timeouts right here as well. So we'll see, he's not attacking with anything. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and just go to my turn. Yeah, I do tend to be a passive player. He's basically waiting to draw a good card because he's scared of that 6/6. Because he knows that, you know, 1s and 2s aren't going to do much. But on the end of his turn, I'm definitely thinking about playing this one, possibly playing this one and killing that 3/1 no, I'm killing that. Alright. So block. Alright. I'll go ahead and give that to this and let him deal damage to that thing. And let's go ahead and do my turn. Ooh, Onyxian's Binding. So this is a rather good card. When I play this, it's going to keep him from playing anything else that shares the same name. So I can banish this thing, and then he can't play any more copies of that card. So now he can only deal 2 +1 +1, so he can only do a matter of 5 damage unless he has something. That one got killed. Okay, so hopefully I don't regret what I'm about to do. About to do 6 to his face unless he blocks and loses some cards. So he tapped all of his white, so he can't do that. So he's blocking. This thing is just going to give him a card. Now what this says is I'm divvying up my damage to either the cat or him. I can decrease or increase, but I want to kill it, so I need a 3 to match that 3, and that means I'm going to do 3 to him. So you saw how that just worked. So now I don't have anything to answer that, so I'm going to resolve, let him draw his card. I'm going to end my combat, and then end my turn. So then this second, back to kind of the turn order. So after the combat phase happens, you have a second main phase. That allows you to play any more cards you want. Let's see. Oh, that sucks. He is probably going to either do Onyxia's Binding or that Radiant Destiny. I have a feeling I'm about to lose that card. He has to sacrifice that creature to do it, but it's target artifact or enchantment. That's an enchantment. That's an enchantment. Now he does have 6 damage on the table, so if I attacked, he could block with all of his creatures and kill the horse, which I don't want to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and play this to get it out there. What's he got? I don't really have anything that I'm needing this mana for. I could play it, but that shows him I have an empty hand. If I keep it, he thinks I might have a possible solution. So I'm going to use it as a fear tactic. Alright, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and attack with him. Now, if you hadn't noticed, when you cast a creature, they come in and they're called Summoning Sickness. They can't attack the turn they come in unless they have flash and you cast it on the other person's turn. So that's why I can attack with this cat right now. So if I attack with this, he either trade for the 3/4 and probably the other one. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack just because win or lose, game's kind of dragging a little bit. And that's the only kind of downside with Magic. The games can run long if you have passive players like me. So we took that one to the face. Now I'm gonna end turn. What I really need is something that gives me life so I can start generating horses. Alright. Let's see, do any of these? Yeah, see, I could have been probably casting this one. So what I'm going to do this combat is I'm going to buff this thing. So I need to pay. Do I have enough? Oh, I gotta sacrifice a desert. I didn't read that card all the way. Nope, I don't want to do that one. Do that one. It's giving them a resolve. So now I'm gonna attack with this cheetah. What's this guy? So he's got double strikes. So that cat I killed earlier came back stronger. And by one, taking his stuff away, but not quick enough. Yep, that's what that deck does. What my deck's supposed to do. Like I said, I got bad card draw. See a total of 4 creatures and 2 things, and everything else has been nothing but lands. Alright. So he's going to be gaining 5 life anyway. Just wanting to kill my horse. I can't do it. You see that double strike twice to the face. Alright. I pretty much lost this one. I got nothing to keep up with them anymore. I'm gonna start losing my creatures. So let's end it. I'm gonna all attack, and he's gonna kill me on his next turn. You can emote. You saw the little hover over the middle and click it. You got hello, good game, your go. Oops, nice. Now, yeah, I'm not gonna block it. Defeat. So I guess I just tried to check to see if any of those satisfied. Now I did cast 12 white spells, so I got some gold. trying to connect right now. So I don't know if that's, there it goes. Alright, let's see what, now here's a perfect example. So colorless, a green, can't cast that. I can cast that. While these aren't bad cards here, I don't have faith in my mana draw, so I'm going to go ahead and mulligan and show you what that looks like. I should edit the deck. I'll do that after this game. Show you how that works. Alright, 2 white. At least, let's see, can't cast anything in here, but I don't want to mulligan anymore, because then I go down to 5 cards, and that's even worse. So I'm going to go off of Lady Luck. It's a plain. I'm going to put this on the bottom in hopes that I draw a forest or a green mana. At least play my plain for the first turn. Woohoo! Lady Luck. Alright, so Feral Prowler. Kinda like the, you know, card art. Dude's legs kind of there, but he's not. Now if he doesn't have anything, he could be in a bad mana position himself. He's got 8 cards up there. I don't know why it's making them all lit up and doing that. I don't know what that means. Alright, let's get this. So Prize Sovereign gets +1/+1 for each other cat I control. I can spend 1 white and tap him and create 2 white cat creatures with lifelink. So that'll be nice. So I'm going to hold, because if I try to attack with this thing, neither one of them are going to kill anything, and all that does is tap my creature, and his doesn't tap when you block, so it's going to just hose me. So I'm going to say no attackers. Alright, put my plane out there. Now this will get more, and now these are going to buff each other, plus get buffs from the fact that there's more out there. So now if I attack with this, I can do that, but I'm going to actually spend my white and tap him to create 2 more, which is going to make all the cats even more powerful. See, now they became 2 6/6s, and alright, no attacks. So I wasn't aware that was like an actual apparently a mechanic. I don't remember exert. So apparently it looks like it locks him down. Now I don't know if that's a permanent thing or not. We'll have to find out. So it looks like it went off, So exert sounds like, or looks like, what it does is it locks that creature down for one turn. So he tapped to create my two things. Now he's tapped, so it can't block. So I'm going to go into my combat phase. Oh, I didn't want to do that. No, cancel. Cancel! Ugh. What in the world? Oh well. That should have gave me an option. Yeah. Well, it's not rip. I mean, he doesn't really have a lot, and I do got 1/1 tokens that, you know, just chump block him to that thing. But I mean, I was wanting to attack with the 6/6, not do what I just did. Oh. So, I got YouTube audio library on. That's what I've been trying to keep going. It's actually not bad. I just wish they had like a just autoplay. You're supposed to kind of download the songs, but all right. Do what you're going to do. You're not going to attack. You're afraid. So now I'm going to go to cast this because I don't want to miss that opportunity. See that blue? He just countered my creature card. What I was talking about earlier, countering target spell. Creatures are spells until they land on the board. Alright, my regal cat. So what this is going to do is it's going to make all my cats even bigger, even the tokens, and then give every one of them lifelink. Tokens already have lifelink, so it doesn't like give them double lifelink. Why is he still like summoned sick? Or apparently exert lasts a lot longer than a keep it clean, please. Alright, let's see. If I attack with this, that's going to be 8 damage, 10 damage. He can block 2 of it, block another 2 of it. This won't kill anything, but it will kill one of my cats, which will make everything kind of smaller. So, because I don't want to be passive 100%, I'm going to just let one of my tokens die and at least get some damage in. Or he's going to take it all to the face. Now he has stopped being exerted. It's exerted as long as the enchantment's on him. No, well, no. Oh, okay, I got you. Well, why didn't this guy get one then? Did he cast this and I not see that? Maybe that happened and I just didn't notice it. He did. Okay. Okay. So he just got that city's blessing. Yeah, if you control 10 or more, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game, even if you lose your stuff. See, I might cast this. So I'm going to pay my green, pay 1, pay my other green. It's going to cost me a life, but I can pay 1 and sacrifice this thing and then remove that. So now, I'll go ahead and play this. Oh, don't do it! Don't do it! Oh! I did it again! I did it again! Oh, dag nabbit. Need a confirmation or something. But yeah, I'm gonna attack with everything. Yeah, face palm. Ugh. Yeah, he's gonna block the 14-14. And basically that will definitely kill that. It's not gonna transfer that damage unless he had trample. But I killed him. -2. It feels bad, yeah. I can't believe I did that twice. We got a card. Lay bare the heart. Target opponent reveals his or her hand and choose a non-legendary, non-land card from it. That player discards card. Kind of harkening back to the black discards people's hands. So go ahead and claim it. Alright, now let's go to decks real quick. Because I like the cat deck. Let's just kind of look around. So, Onyxian's bindings. So if you see here, see how these are light up? If I uncheck that, it gets rid of all the white cards, and I can add these others. This refers to the sets. I'm actually kind of surprised they don't have a Monket and the other set listed here. I think that's pretty much what they... I think. I could be wrong. I don't remember what this... Anyway. And this is... so you can click this to suggest lands, and it will automatically fill the lands according to the deck you're making. It won't suggest any of these special lands, but it will kind of adjust your plains and your forests to how they work. So then you can also kind of go in your advanced filters, and I wish they would like tell you something if you hovered over it. You can narrow down your search for however much they cost colorless mana and just converted mana. Through this right here, you got common, uncommon, rare, mythic, rare. These little things right here refer to the little symbol on the cards that you'll see. You can also go as far as what type of card it is and whether you own it or you don't own it. So if I click this and I click out of the box, it's going to show me something that I don't have any of. So you can see right here, there's no teal diamonds like there's a teal diamond here. So this teal diamond is basically, or did they change the way that works? No. So these, yeah, I guess it's a little different. So I don't have these. I have 3 of these cards. I have 2 of these, and one of them is currently in the deck. I have 2 of these, and both of them are in this deck. So let's go through. And the other thing you can do is you can click on this right here. And this says I have 3 of this particular card in my hand, in my deck. So if I want to add a 4th one, because I can have a maximum of 4, I can click this. And now what it's telling me is I don't have 4 in my card collection, but I have a wild card that I can make one of these. So if I say I can either cancel that if I want to keep the wild card for something else later, or I go ahead and say confirm. And now I have 4. And now because what I was saying earlier, you get a minimum of 60 cards to make a deck. You can have them over. So now if I wanted to say I didn't want 4 of these cards in my deck, I can hit the actual name, and you can't probably see it very well in the stream, but it's red. and if I click that, it'll actually make this 4 go down to a 3. So queue up something else. So let's see. I like this. The bomb is also good because it lets me cast it again if it dies. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Let's see. Aftermath. Target up to 2 target creatures your opponent controls. Creatures you control gain vigilance until end of turn. Or until the end of turn, target creature gains trample and gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures I control. So let's see. So this, it's a good card, but I mean at the same time each opponent chooses 2 cards and exiles the rest. I haven't really been using it because I've been trying to keep the board presence. So I might get rid of that. Because I want to try to focus the deck more. I want to make it more honed so that when I draw my cards, I'm getting a card I actually kind of want and know that's going to be kind of coming up. Have a better opportunity to get that. So definitely like this one. Now, and I can actually put multiple of these in there. It would give you know, them extra +1/+1, so then it give basically +2s to all of it if I have 2 of these out on the board. It gives me an opportunity to get them out. I mean, I was lucky to have that the other game, so it's kind of so this card here, 2 in the green, enchanted creature, may have it fight another opponent controls. It gives it +1/+1 trample. There's another one up here, just above it, 2 in the green. Target creature I get +1/+0 until the end of turn, and it deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. They kind of do the same thing, but the bonus goes away at the end of my turn. The trade-off is my creature doesn't take damage. So if I do if I get rid of this one and go with one of these, it's the same mana cost. It gives it trample, it gives it +1 that stays, and it still has, you know, it still fights an opponent's creature. So really the only scare I would have would be red, who could do direct damage. To do that last little bit that might kill it. The other thing I would be worried about would be black, if they put a debuff of like a negative toughness or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and take that chance and bump that up. Might actually bump that up a couple times because I like that card actually. Pouncing Cheetah is good. This is really good. I mean, we just saw these become 14/14s last game. So if we can kind of play these a little bit more and produce cat tokens, which is the way to go. Because the cat tokens get lifelink, they play off this Crest of Mare. I don't think I have another one of these, and I don't want to burn that mythic yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is to give you an answer to flying. Um, I don't really see how it benefits other than that. If I'm looking at this cartouche of strength, it's a way to make a ground creature fight a flying creature. Um, but I think I'm gonna drop this. So this exiles target non-land permanent and opponent controls until cast out leaves the battlefield. So it basically means anything but a land that the other person has. That's pretty good. It's kind of like a white's version of you know, it's a disenchant that stays on the board. The thing with exile is if this goes away, the things typically that are exiled come back. I think they might go to the hand though. This is good. So if an effect creates one or more tokens under my control, it creates twice that many tokens instead. So let's see, how many of these do I have? I have 3 of them. So I'm going to add one more. I'm going to build it. His tokens are good if I'm building, because I could play that in another white and green, or you know, white and anything else that generates tokens. Kind of want to stay with the cats. So if you're not a cat, you possibly have a chance of leaving. How many of these do I have? So this is a 1/3/1/3 that I gain life, which will play off of that horse as well. So, out of curiosity, what do we have for cat tokens? Oh, get off of lands. So, out of all the cards I can make and have, these are the only ones. Let's remove tokens. Just say cat. So this one, Prowling Snow, Serpulperd, however you say that, can't be countered. Creature spells you control can't be countered. So, that's a gold though. I have 2. So I can add another one of these. I don't have any of these. Tyler Jacobson. Alright, not quite sure what I want to do. Now, when these come back after they've been, after you pay the bomb cost, they do count as zombies, so they would get stuff like this. This is a planeswalker. Doesn't quite fit in this deck, but they can be kind of powerful. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and play one more game. It's getting kind of late for me, and hopefully finish out that quest. And I need I just dropped one of these cards, so I got my 60. I'll go back to home. Go back to play. Still playing that deck. Alright, so I need a win here to finish out this quest. It's magic. You can combine two things of anything that you want and it somehow works. Yes, a serpent and a leopard is kind of odd. Alright, so opening hand, we got baffling end. We got our anointed procession. So we have a turn 2. We have 2 turn 2 options. So we'll probably be playing that anointed priest first because it stays on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. So I'm going to cast my white because anointer priest costs 1 white and 1 colorless. Alright. So this little guy here had haste, so when he came in he attacked me right away. He can also sacrifice him and deal 1 damage to any of my targets. It's not going to be enough to kill him, you know, the Anointed Priest, and he's probably not going to attack unless he's got something in his hand that could kill my guy. So this one, this one is going to start generating artifact treasures, which basically adds 1 of any color to the mana pool. Whenever you sacrifice a treasure, you get +1 to the end. So what he's planning on doing is if I block the captain, I'm going to take 2 damage. Then he's possibly going to sacrifice that Fanatical Firebrand and kill my Anointed Priest. I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to go take 3 damage to the face. Alright, so let's see. This is 3 or less. See, 1 red, 2 colorless is 3 converted mana. So if I baffling end, the Captain Larny Storm, she won't be generating no treasure tokens anymore, giving him more mana. Plus, he doesn't run the risk of trying to kill my little guy. So I can go for 1 damage to the face, but that is going to leave me wide open on my turn, so I'm going to say no attackers. Alright, he's attacking. He's got open mana. He could just be threatening me, trying to just deal that 1 damage, but I'm going to call it. He's got 1 red. Yep, there it goes. That's all it takes with red. Alright, let's see. So he's got a flyer. Let's go ahead and play 3-1. So hopefully what that'll do is it'll keep him from wanting to attack, so that he can block mine and kill my guy. I'm going to go ahead and play this one as well. You see the little wavy things, that means they're summoning sick. Alright. Whenever Dauntless Aven attacks, untap target creature you control. It's another one of those cards that would deal damage to a lot more people if more than 2 people are playing against each other. Getting starved for actual card presence. I'll go ahead and cycle it so I can hopefully get another. And it's another land. Yay! Oh, I don't think I'm going to win this one, guys. He's got an answer for everything. So if he... So he can exert this and kill this guy anyway. I don't have anything against that flyer, so either hopefully kill something or do some damage. Yep, I knew it. That's what I would have done too. So, combat attackers. He's going to attack with a flying guy. And that one, because I can't kill it. Oh no, he is doing damage, but he's still... Can you... Is he attacking and then exerting? Do I take damage from that? So you can attack... Man, I really screwed up that earlier game. Twice. Woo. That's great. And another land. Another land. Oh, this sucks. So that's the proper way to use exert. You attack with it, and then you do the exertion. I'm just going to let him win. He played a good game. I just had bad draw. And another land. Look at this. Look at this. I didn't change the lands. I didn't change anything. The bad draw is real. It is real. Good game. I mean, I have 7 mana on the board. 7 mana. That is massive. Fitting music for about to die. Oh, that's great. How much damage are you going to do, dude? I want to see it. Let's see it. 1, 2. Oh, come on. Let him do all of it. Alright. One more. Alright. A forest, 2 plains, another named land. I have enough to... I'm going to keep this hand. 3 to 4 is a good good opening for mana. It also means I got more of my mana out of my deck, so that when I draw, it's hopefully not another mana card. Alright, so plains for my Anointed Priest. So this is a merfolk. River Sneak can't be blocked. Whenever another merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. This guy has the potential to get very big very quickly if he's playing a lot of like merfolk token generation cards, stuff like that. That could be bad for me. Yes, I realize I casted a flash creature. He doesn't have anything on the board to block this, so I'm at least going to get this one damage in. Well, I casted that, so it's just, I don't know why I cast it, truthfully. Alright, let me exert on champion as it attacks. When you do, untap all other creatures you control. So I'm going to play him. So let's see, let's go ahead and attack with both of those. Still doing that 1 damage. And I missed my chance to drop that pouncing cheetah. Let's go ahead and cycle, because I got 2 other land cards in my hand. Ooh. Let's go ahead and play this one. So now I can enchant a creature. I'm going to enchant the bigger guy because it's going to give him trample, so he'll do more damage to the face. And then I'm going to make him fight that. So now I kill his river snake that wasn't targetable or blockable before. And now I'm going to all attack and do some pretty good damage. Down to 6 life. There's that victory. Yay! Now we completed a quest. Alright. So we got 350 gold. You can see we got 600 up here now. And we got a merfolk scout. When forerunner of the heralds enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a merfolk card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. Whenever another merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on the forerunner of the heralds. Alright, so it looks like 2 hours and 56 minutes from now, this one will replenish. We still have 2 other quests that we can do, but I think I'm going to be done streaming for the night. I'm going to try to set up a schedule and just kind of make more of a dedicated schedule time to stream. You know, I do have a family that I like to spend time with in the evening, so my typical time I'm looking at is probably going to be about 10 o'clock and probably end about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm Eastern Standard Time, but I know that might pick up the Pacific people and maybe even Europe. So well, this was my first stream, so hopefully it was entertaining, and you know, I'm hoping to do this more, and any feedback would be greatly appreciated. So good night. Thank you for watching.